Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Life of Dr. Taylor Martin. In this episode, we're going to be going over year four, the highs, the lows, our strongest points, our weakest points, and year five, our future goals. This episode is very important for me because when we hit year five, when it comes to the end of this year right now, which we are in, I'm going to be looking back and I'm going to be like, did I actually say what we were going to do? Because as in business, as in life, word is bond. Now, of course, before we get into everything, make sure to check me out on Instagram, dr.taylormartin, Facebook, Taylor Martin. And after this episode, make sure to tell me what you thought and what other content you want to see. So, hopping right into it. Year four as a whole. Wow. I guess it could be summed up with collaborations, platforms, and those are the two of the biggest ones because, as you know, starting fresh off in January, we got onto bodybuilding.com as well as Walmart. So those two big platforms were huge for us, especially bodybuilding.com, because remember, we are a self-funded, family-owned business. So for us to get on to the biggest supplement website in the world, bodybuilding.com, that is definitely something to celebrate. And then in regards to the platforms, I also must say it was definitely the year of collaborations, okay? We were collaborating with fitness influencers from New York, from Arizona, and we thought those were hugely beneficial for us because what we noticed is a lot of the orders, came from that geographical location in which we had our influencers. So big shout out to you guys. Um, you know, One of the things that was the high for this year was definitely our year four party. And the reason being is because, all right, it's time to get real. Remember, this is the real life of Dr. Taylor Martin. Year one, two, and three parties, I always just got so tied up and so upset, I guess, for the people that, said that they were going to come through, but necessarily didn't come through. Mind you, timeout. The thing about it is, I could not hold against somebody's support for a whole entire year summed up into one night that they were not there. So I guess in a sense, one of the mental battles that I had to overcome over the last year at each party was, hey, don't sum up someone's support for a whole entire year over just the one night that they couldn't be there. Now, with that same token, this year four party, it was amazing. And the reason being is that what my wife and I have built, to see everybody come out. We had people fly out from California, Arizona to come be with us for a 3-hour period to help us celebrate our anniversary. That was something that I will never forget. Okay, we had Mia out there making her charcuterie board, which was Fire McFiresen. We had Naya's Bakery making the magnificent cake that was literally, well, it was good if you were here. And we were playing games, and it was just, it was an amazing night, and it just really made me reflect on this whole year as well as the years prior and all the people that were there to support us. And so I will say, year four party was amazing. The highs was definitely the collaborations and the platforms. The lows, I would say, well, we didn't really have a low. It was basically just learning through what didn't work and just paying down that debt. Because I'm going to say self-funded and self-funded and self-funded until I get blue in the face, just so everybody knows. But there really wasn't necessarily a low, aside from, the day-to-day letdowns. One person said they were going to do this, it didn't work out, blah, 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 right? So I guess there necessarily wasn't a low, but yeah, I can't complain. As we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I want to talk to you about year five goals. And, the thing about it is all these words are going around for each year. So I guess I'll play into it, right? Our year, our word for year five would have to be growth and minimize expenses, right? But the word would be growth. And the way we can do that, I plan to, is through distributors, one of them being US Foods. So US Foods is basically a platform where you upload all of your products and then, retailers can reach out and buy a case at a time. So, excuse me, there's US Foods as well as Fair. So Fair is also a similar website where retailers and brands can reach out to you and buy cases at a time and bring them into their store. So with those two distributions, that's how I want to grow, by also doing that growth and then minimizing expenses, right? So being self-funded, we've definitely got ourselves into a lot of trouble, being that I have $33,000 on credit cards, my personal credit cards, and that interest is eating away at the profits, right? So this year I plan to minimize those expenses by paying down the debt and literally only buying what we need to. So everyone's asking, what products, what products, what products? So in a sense, first we have to restock our vanilla, and then we are coming out with our creatine HMB product, which is kind of a surprise. And then from there, we're going to need to restock our chocolate and what else? Chocolate, and then possibly our strawberry kiwi pre-workout is going to run out by then. And then for the year 5 party, hopefully we will be able to come out with our restocked watermelon pre-workout. But you won't got to tell anybody, okay? You're only going to hear it here if you're on the video. So in a sense, that is a very expensive year. So we're looking at what, like 30 grand, 50 grand, 70 grand, probably like a total of 80 grand, right? In products, just products itself. That's not, our shipping. That's not our other products like our shaker bottles, our gear. So it's going to be an expensive year, but I have to be able to capitalize on not spending money on stuff that does not matter. In year 1, 2, and 3, we were buying frivolously, right? But I need to really hone down and realize what we need to spend our money on. One of the most important questions I have to ask myself is, how will year 5 be different? After digging deep, I realized it's all about the allotment of funds. Businesses go out of business because one, or either emotions take over, or two, they run out of money or they're not managing it properly. So when I say allotment of funds, I mean we are spending money on things that matter, that things that we're going to be able to profit on and turn around and help our business scale. The other thing would definitely be focus on keeping products in stock. Our vanilla plant protein is almost out of stock, and this is going to be the first product in which there was no overlap in it running out, right? So we're not going to technically run out of the vanilla. It's going to be here in a couple weeks. So that's the first product after 4 years in business that we can say, hey, it's not like it's back in stock because it never went out of stock. And that just goes to show that I'm super happy that we are moving in the right direction. Another way that I know that we're moving in the right direction is I'm not pulling out lines of credit like I did in year 1, 2, and 3 and ran my Amex all the way up to 80 grand, right? Some of you can't even fathom 80 grand on your credit card and the amount of pressure that would cause, especially having a family and a mortgage. But we won't get into all that, right? Anywho, moving right along. So, allotment of funds, focus on keeping products in stock, and then lastly, it must be paying down the debt, right? Because interest on some of the amounts that I have on my credit card are $200-$300, and you times that up over a year. 1 year, I think it was year 2 or 3, that we had $10,000 just in interest alone. That's half of a pre-workout product. So that, in a sense, is the biggest question that I needed answered for year 5 moving forward. And I think for me personally, probably the most important thing, if you've made it this far in the video, I will say my personal goal, for this year is to continue operating despite how I feel and make sure that I get 2 one-week vacations this coming year, despite everything else going on. Because at the end of the day, one day I'm going to die, and I need to look back and say to myself, hey, even though you were grinding it out for the past 10, 15 years, you were still able to make those family memories. So for example, in March, I'm taking my wife to Cabo Wabo for her birthday, okay? And I just thought to myself, I work so hard not to reward myself and my family. Now, are we at where we want to be financially? And did I just talk about not spending money? Yes. What a hypocrite, right? But at the same time, there are certain things that you need in your life, and a 1 week vacation is not going to make or break our business. So, in a sense, for me, it's continue operating how I am, despite how I feel, making those 2 1 week vacations for the family, and 3, it's just moving forward and having or making a decision and having a plan follow right up after, right? Making a decision and then following it up with a plan right after, because too often everyone makes decisions. Oh, do the pink one. Oh, do the white one. Oh, let's do this one. But where's the plan? So thank you guys all for your support, follows, likes, comments, shares, all of that. And let me know what content you want to see. Okay, whether it's more of the daily life, whether it's, more insight on behind the scenes of running a business with the family or what have you. Let me know what you want to see. Comment in the link below. I'll put a link to the website as well as my social media handles. At the end of the day, I really appreciate you. And remember, this is for the both of us. This is for you to see how we build the brand, as well as for me to look back 10 years in life and be like, wow, I can't believe I said that. Or, wow, I have come so far since day one. So thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode, and we will see you here next time.